of a learning curve. Anyways, so we just talked about Nick's background, how you got here. I really want to focus on the educational piece of NIL because I think a lot of Cougs hear it as a buzzword. They know it's something that we need to be invested in, contributing in. But what really is it? How did NIL kind of come to be, and where are we at right now in the sports world of NIL?
Yeah, so NIL started because for a long time, right, student athletes weren't allowed to make any money beyond their scholarship, which scholarships really impactful, can be life-changing for a lot of people, but the amount of money that college football and college basketball and all the other sports that we have here bring into universities got to be so big. And so the student athletes who were doing the work for that part weren't really seeing any other returns. Right. So NIL was a part that was a new rule that allowed our student athletes to essentially monetize their named image and likeness or NIL. And what that was originally kind of meant to be was, you know, I'm Nick Carter, I play on the baseball team, and the local restaurant down in town, like, sees me as a local celebrity and wants to use me as a brand ambassador and drive some business, which is great. What it's evolved into be is a lot more along like a pay-for-play kind of scheme, and we're seeing that around the country. But what it really is just helping our student athletes to be monetized for what they're bringing into the university. Right. And so we just this past year there was what's called the House Settlement, which made it so that universities could do rev share with student athletes. So there's a cap of about $20 million that universities can now pay student athletes as part of their rev share. You have collectives, so ours is the Cougar Collective, groups that have come together to create NIL opportunities for student athletes. And then you still do have that brand side of things where, you know, our student athletes are some of the best brand ambassadors that you can have, especially when you look at a school like Washington State over here in Eastern Washington. I mean, we're the pro sports over here, and that's really cool. And so our student athletes are celebrities in their own right. And so there's lots of opportunities for businesses and business people to also get involved in and use them as such and create cool partnerships. So it looks a lot of different ways, but as it's become more and more a part of college athletics, it's just another part of how WSU needs to compete and how we can be successful. And what's really cool about it is it allows fans to take it into their own hands a little bit, right? Like, you know, we're not going to win every game, but our goal is to win every game. And we want our fans to feel that same way too.
Absolutely.
And in this day and age, it takes money to be competitive in that. And so that can look a lot of different ways, but it's part of college athletics now. And so we have to continue to grow in it. And our fans have to continue to support where they can. And that's not to say that NIL is the only way to support, but if you're interested in it and you're interested in helping bring some of the best athletes to Pullman, keeping them here in Pullman, and continuing to see them develop and have great success, whether that's in East Field or, you know, on the basketball court, baseball field, whatever you want that to be, like, NIL is a part of that. And we have to continue to grow what we're able to offer to our coaches and student athletes.
Yeah, absolutely. But for fans that are still skeptical or like still kind of wanting to get involved or thinking about it, maybe not, why should they?
I mean, there's just the competitive part of it, right? Like, kind of like I mentioned, we're seeing it around the country, and I know our fans are too on social media, where student athletes and some that have been here are getting 5, 6, 7-figure deals to, be athletes and be brand ambassadors at different places. And so we want those athletes to be Cougs and stay Cougs. We need NIL to be a part of that for sure. But the other part that's been really cool for me to get to see in my role is that our fans and businesses have really gotten to see how great our student athletes are.
Absolutely.
Like, what NIL really provides is a chance to build a relationship with the student athlete, and that maybe that's one student athlete, maybe that's a group of student athletes, but I know all the people who are part of the Cougar Collective get to meet some of our athletes at the Cougar Collective happy hours on Friday. The businesses that are partnered with our student athletes have gotten to know those student athletes, and those relationships have grown and built over time to really get to yes, you're supporting them because you want the Cougs to be competitive on the field, but you're also supporting them because you get to know this person and you want them to be a successful human being. And it feels really good when those great people are wearing crimson and gray. So I would say getting to be involved in that way and supporting Cougs in that way, like, there's nothing more rewarding than when you see someone score a touchdown on Saturday against the Huskies. Like, yeah, that's a really good feeling anyway, but it's a better feeling when you're like, dang, I shook that guy's hand yesterday and he was a good guy.
Yeah, definitely.
We can hear the motion dance starting in the background. The team just about to come out. right behind us. Another question for you, Nick. As NIL has changed so much just in the last 3 or 4 years, where do you anticipate it going for the next 4 or 5 years?
Big change.
We gotta embrace this right now, folks. It is so loud. We gotta embrace this. We can't even hear our such thing.
This is what Cougar Football Saturdays are all about.
Exactly. This is electric. I love this.
This has been one of my favorite changes to the game day atmosphere. Yes. Bringing the team.
Much better than right after it. It's really fast.
And the fights are going. It's moments like this where I think us people are standing a chance today. But when we get inside the stadium, I'm sure I'll feel a little bit different.
Yeah, definitely.
So anyway, so
So NIL changed so much in the last few years. Where do you feel
Gotcha. Yeah. So like I said, the big change that we've really seen this year, just in July 1st, the House settlement went into effect, which, like I mentioned, allows universities to pay. So we've got schools we're competing against around the country that are paying $20 million of rev share to student athletes, which is awesome for those student athletes, but until we're able to get to that point, we're going to be we have to continue to raise funds in that area for the university to be able to meet what's needed for the coaches and student athletes. The other big part that's really well that my role, like Matt says, really adopted and grown into is the true brand deals. When NIL started, the collective blew up. And our Cougar collective has done an incredible job, and the Cougar 1890 club and really growing what we're able to do for the As those collectives have really carried the torch for the last 3 or 4 years, you're starting to see a shift now, and you're seeing the rev share payments on from schools, and a lot more true brand deals. There's a lot of data that student athletes get 7 to 1 return on dollars spent on assets. A typical asset or advertisement goes about 2.3, 2.5. So there's a ton of value in partnering with student athletes. You see the Cougar flag waving. There's a lot of brand recognition in that. People have bought business stuff just because they're associated with the Cougars, right? And you're seeing that around the country. So we're continuing to push that. So I think you'll see that rev share side continue to grow, and schools continue to invest in that. And then you'll also see the brand side, and brands are starting to see that. That's a business marketing or advertising.
Right.
You're seeing the return on investment. We'll see that continue to grow, and we'll see that continue to grow here at Washington as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, Nick. So we talked a lot about NIL here. What are your predictions for today? How do you see this Apple Cup game playing out? What are some of the keys to victory for the group?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say that the word I've been using all week is I'm cautiously optimistic.
I love it.
I think there's no denying what happened last week in last week's game, but that's not who we are. That's not who our team is. We're going to bounce back. I have full confidence in that, and Coach Rogers and the team that was an aberration there, and we'll see a different result here today. I mean, the Huskies are a good team. They've got a ton of talent there. There's no denying that. But they had a ton of talent last year as well. And so I think for us, the keys is getting off to a fast start, getting the crowd engaged. I think walking around town this week, walking around the tailgate lots today, there's a ton of energy and excitement. So I hope that translates in the East field, and we're really able to see that excitement there. And I think our guys will feel that. And then we get off to a quick start. It's close at halftime, close at the fourth quarter. We're going to invest money here, right?
Yeah, definitely.
They're the big bad Huskies who we're all supposed to be scared of, and I know there's not a single person in Portland this week that's scared of them. So we'll be ready, and I think just bringing that energy and then meeting them where they're at. Let's make it a little fight and see what happens.
Yeah, Alex Brink actually said on our podcast earlier this week that some of the players, when they run out of the tunnel today, will be running into an environment in which they have never seen or experienced before. And I can't wait for that for them. Ride the wave of emotion, get the fans into it, and hopefully we make a play early that makes us all believe a little bit in the stadium.
Yeah, I think we'll see our guys flying around in ways that we haven't yet this season. And I think we've got a lot of seniors who've played a lot of football, so they know what they're supposed to do. But a lot of them haven't played in a game like this before. And I think that's going to be really, really fun for them. I'm excited for them to get to experience it. I'm excited to experience
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
I'm excited to have an Apple Cup back here for the first time in several years.
Yes.
Like you can feel it, and I think we'll see what happens, but I'm excited.
Love it.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of excitement for this game. There's definitely a lot of warmth, which is
Yes.
the warmest Apple Cup on record this year. And the excitement's so grand that parking a second car that I brought in here, I had to park all the way down the hill and nearly on the other side of town just to get parking this weekend. So that's the kind of excitement that's been brought here today. And we're just looking forward to the game.
Okay,
Yeah.
that means we gotta get a final score prediction from you. And I know
don't
if you're not allowed to do
the
that.
final score predictions, but
That's okay.
let's just say I
Philosophical.
He is
I hope I'm seeing
cautiously optimistic.
I hope I'm seeing a lot of fans on the 50 later.
There we go.
Yes, I love it.
That's what I'll say.
Yes.
This has been awesome. I'm excited
Yeah.
you guys are here and looking forward to the rest of the podcast. And appreciate getting to be the first live guest. That's pretty cool. So
Yep.
appreciate you guys. And,
Yeah.
I just would say to Coug fans, just support where you can.
Yep.
And what that looks like for you, whether that's joining the 1890 Club with the Cougar Collective, being a CAF member,
Starting a podcast.
starting a podcast, giving a major gift. We kind of laugh, but helping our student athletes grow their brands.
Yeah.
A big way when I'm talking to businesses, they want to know what are our student athletes on social media, what are they doing.
Right.
So follow our Cougs on social media. That's like a simple thing, but something we can all do that supports our student athletes. And then if you're a business owner or in a spot, we'd love to connect and see how we can create a really cool partnership with a Cougar student athlete to be a brand ambassador for you. But this was lots of fun. Appreciate you guys.
it. Yeah.
Glad to have
Go
you.
Cougs. Have a
Go
good day
Cougs.
today.
You too.
All right, we'll be right back here live from the Fieldhouse Report.
Can you pause the turn the camera off?
Cool.
All right.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Hopefully
Appreciate it.
that was what you guys were looking
That was
for.
exactly. Yeah.
Timing is terrible.
Oh.
Yeah. Awesome.
You guys have a good rest of the day.
Yeah. Thanks.
Appreciate it. This is fun.
How'd it go, guys?
Off to a good start, I think.
Yep, we got
All right, and we are back here live from RV Lot 1 here in Pullman, Washington, on the campus of Washington State University. Great to talk to Nick and hear all about the things that are happening with NIL at WSU.
Yeah, I think it's great. Everything you spoke to is a lot of information, a lot of things that obviously Cougs really need to get behind. But I hear a lot of stuff from Cougs, always talking about what it is that they feel like we need to do. The first thing we need to do is show up to games like this. And it's not just Apple Cup, it's every game. Showing support, getting here for our stadium as we have a big Alaska jet flying over us right now. Honestly, getting here is number one. Number two is putting your money where your mouth is and getting into the Cougar Athletic Fund and Cougar Collective or any other opportunities here on campus, whether it's your particular Department of Education or business, whatever it is, WSU Alumni Association, get involved, be here.
Obviously, this game means a ton for Cougs, a ton for the state of Washington, and whether they like to admit it, it means a lot to the Huskies too. This game this year means just a little bit more, and you and I were talking about it a little bit earlier in the week. As far as it goes for Washington State to stay relevant, games on national TV, we have a Big Ten opponent in Martin Stadium. Darren, can you just touch on the opportunity that's there in front of us today?
This is truly a tremendous opportunity. Number one, we beat the Huskies last year on national television, NBC Peacock, right? We're sitting there beating them 24-19 on a neutral site. Now it's home. It's here in Martin Stadium where everybody loves to come back, right? And we're on CBS. We're going to get a national spotlight here at 4:30 on CBS, and it's going to be an electric atmosphere. But honestly, this is about showcasing to the rest of the country, and more particularly the Pac-12, all those that left the Pac-12, that this was a big mistake in what they did. And they should still be a part of this conference. They should have found a new way. They should have evolved, which is what Washington State and Oregon State are doing. And let me tell you, our new commissioner, she's doing a wonderful job.
Absolutely, yeah. I think for Washington State University, when that CBS theme music comes on, and we get that first panning shot of Martin Stadium, there's going to be college kids all across the country. There's going to be young athletes all across the country saying, holy crap, that place looks like a lot of fun. And if we can put the cherry on top by beating the Huskies, rushing the field, having that highlight play all night because it's on national TV, that just goes a long way. So for the Cougs to do this today, they're going to have to play a fantastic football game. The Huskies come in, obviously undefeated, 2 wins over Colorado State and UC Davis. What does Washington State need to do today in order for us to all be on the field after this one?
Yeah, it's no secret. It's a lot, okay? We have to really control the line of scrimmage defensively and offensively. But more importantly, we have to contain Williams and Coleman, which is a tough task to say. And I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything for our Cougar fans out there. This is just what needs to be done. I also think we need a couple of turnovers, whether it be from our defense or from special teams, getting something, from a punt or a kickoff return where they poke it out or whatever. We have to create opportunities by putting them into situations where they're going to make a mistake.
Absolutely. Giving our offense a short field with a turnover or two would be huge if we can make it happen. Here's the bottom line. With everything that happened last week to us, with everything that the Huskies come into town with, just for our confidence coming into this game, we have to make a play early. You get the crowd into it. You let our team know, hey, maybe last week was a fluke and we really can play with these guys.
And it was.
And we really can play with these guys. If that happens, crowd gets into the game, I think we actually flip the script, and the Huskies are the ones that are under all the pressure. They're the ones, like Nick mentioned, they're the ones that have everything in front of them to play for. Their fans have stated over and over and over again how embarrassing it would be to lose this game to us. Even if they don't beat us by 40, they're saying that would be a disappointment. So I really think if the first quarter can go our way, we'll be in a situation where they have the thought creeping into their head, oh my gosh, what if we lose? And that's where all the pressure can fall on them, and we can play lose. There's nothing for us to lose,
Yeah, I think it's going to be one thing I didn't mention about offense is that I think actually what we're going to need to do, and I do anticipate that Zevi will be the starting quarterback today. One thing I think that'll be key and instrumental is really getting him outside the pocket, getting him in rollout situations where he can just find something going wide on the field, side to side, to then open up downfield as well as up the gut, and that can create more opportunities for our offense. Time of possession will be huge for our offense today. If we can control time of possession, being able to move downfield slowly but surely, I think we've got a great chance at beating the Huskies here today.
We've just about mentioned every single side of the ball, so I'm just going to finish it off and say the last one. Our special teams today has to be, in the words of Bobby Bird, special. Because so far they have not been. And so far they've actually been a little bit of a liability for us, especially in the punting game. We've seen some serious concerns, so we have to play clean on that side of the ball. Limit the mistakes. We've had so many, it's actually surprised me under this new coach. We've had so many procedural penalties, not having enough guys on the field, all of those types of things that we have to play a perfect game as far as that goes, or the Huskies are going to take advantage.
Yeah, I agree, Drew. And I actually think that after last weekend, with Jimmy Rogers coming on and basically expressing how upset he was and the team was upset, I think they've already put it behind them. They've got to move forward, and that's exactly what he did and they did, and they're ready to go today.
Awesome. Well, those are our keys to victory today for the Cougs. We are going to take another quick break here on the Fieldhouse Report. We've got a fun guest coming up and a fun sponsorship coming up, so looking forward to it. We'll be right back here on the Fieldhouse Report.
Okay. All right. Okay. How do you want me to introduce you? Elaine's dad. Elaine's dad.
You don't know who Elaine is. Say John Pearson.
John
Hello.
Pearson. So,
What year did you graduate?
time for 83.
83. Class of 83, John Pearson.
So you want me on set now, or walk in on
It's
set?
already picking up everything we're talking about.
Well, there we go.
All right, we are back here live on the campus of Washington State University here with the Fieldhouse Report. We have a very special guest. John Pearson, class of
83 should have been 82.
1983.
Super senior. I love it. That was
I wish I got my master's, but I didn't.
You're not the first thing I've heard that from. You might as well take your time and have fun. Okay, so you brought us a little something
So I
here.
got some pulled pork sandwiches for my homegrown hogs.
I love
right?
it.
And I top dressed it with the Williams barbecue sauce company. It is local Northwest.
Yep, and it's Coug owned. You guys want to buy this barbecue sauce? We're about to try it right now for the very first time.
There we go.
Devin Williams is the owner, and he is a sponsor for this particular portion of the podcast. This guy's great. He was already on with us previously, and again, go get Williams Sauce Company barbecue sauce.
Can I jump in? I was going to say, buy this where anywhere barbecue sauce is sold, look for it.
Amen. Love it. Love it. You gonna take a bite, Dan?
I am. Let's do this.
Life changing. Life changing.
That's really good. You know, on the episode that we did with Devin, the first thing he was describing all of his different concoctions that he was putting together, and I told you I was salivating. Oh, this is wonderful. Give it a try.
Wait, yeah. There you go.
Good
Okay,
luck with
we'll
that.
give it a shot. I've had one of these pork shoulders before. You gifted me one.
I'm trying to remember what I named these two hogs. We'll go with Sonny and Cher, I think is what.
I love dog.
Yeah, that's right.
I love it.
Yeah, we slaughtered the Huskies to make that sandwich.
All right. Well, there you go.
Okay, I'm trying to choke that down. Sorry. We got some fun Apple Cup trivia here for you. Okay, so we'll see how you do. I wish I could tell you we had a prize for you, but your prize today is going to just be the pride and honor that you feel for answering questions right.
And the good news is you're going up against me, but I'm newer to this whole rivalry than even you are, so you better beat me at this.
I feel like a winner already.
Let's do it.
Okay, here we go. What year was the first ever matchup between Washington State and Washington in football?
Are we just going to slap?
You can just answer.
1891.
1991.
1900.
Darren is correct. 1900, the Cougs and the Dogs battles for the first time at a park in Seattle. It actually was a 5-5 tie between the Cougs and the Dogs. Pretty great way to start an epic rivalry with the 5-5 tie.
Barn burner. Congratulations.
Okay, Darren's up 1-0. Okay. We got, I gave away the answer to the second question, so we won't answer that.
Okay,
We
let's
won't
switch.
answer
Let's
that.
switch. Move on. It doesn't matter.
Okay, what year was the rivalry between Washington State and Washington first called the Apple Cup?
1951.
Good guess.
53.
Both are wrong. It was 1962.
But you're closest to?
Oh man, the price is right here.
Darren still leads 1-0. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so that was the first year it was called the Apple Cup. What was the rivalry called before it was called the Apple Cup?
The Governor's Trophy.
Darren's right. Darren's up 2-0. Yes! To be a dramatic comeback.
That's right. He's the Cougars today. I'm the Huskies.
There we go.
All right.
Okay, this is going to be a guess the person. So guess the athlete. In my junior year, or in his junior year, this athlete went 22 of 38 with 358 passing yards and 2 TDs in a win over the University of Washington.
Mark Rippon.
Ryan Leaf.
The correct answer is Ryan Leaf.
Oh my. Darren, you set me up.
I'm not setting you up for nothing.
Congratulations.
Okay. Here's one. Here's one that I don't think either of you are going to get. This is a pretty obscure one, so brace yourselves.
Okay.
Okay. Many Cougs remember the famous 1992 Apple Cup, the Snow Bowl, Drew Bledsoe versus Mark Brunell. Cougs win big. Now, we know Sean Bay right there went wild in that game. An offensive lineman actually scored a touchdown for the Cougars that day. Can you name that offensive lineman?
Last name Lynch.
Ooh, good guess.
I do not know.
It was Conrad Piniskern, the redshirt senior that fell on a Drew Bledsoe fumbled snap in the end zone as part of the route of the Huskies that day.
Drew, you got deep.
Well, Drew is a Washington State Cougar encyclopedia. He doesn't need to dig. He knows this
Okay,
stuff.
this one might be a little bit easier. Okay. Alex Brink, as we all know, is the only Coug to beat the University of Washington 3 times during his career. Now, he did so twice in dramatic fashion with game-winning touchdowns with just a few minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. What 2 wide receivers caught those game-winning touchdown passes?
Michael Bumpus?
And here's the other one.
Somebody Hill.
Moving down the sideline, Gibson with the score. I'm putting out the calls now, buddy.
That was a little unfair because those were our favorite memories that we kind of relived earlier in the podcast. So you're up against it. Okay.
Michael Bumpus jumped on Alex Brink's back after he threw the touchdown pass to Gibson in the end zone in 07.
Okay, so
No worry.
okay, so we couldn't get into score predictions when Nick wasn't allowed to talk about it. We want to hear from you. What do you want to see out of the Cougs today?
What do you anticipate, too?
Yeah, exactly. And score prediction.
See, to me, it all starts with who's starting the quarterback.
Right.
I personally want Teddy, but we'll see. Last week made me so nervous just looking ahead to this week. So I truly don't know what to expect other than the crowd's going to be wild. This place is kind of hopping today. It looks
This whole weekend, right? Thursday through now, it's been crazy. There's been more and more people flooding in.
so. Personally, I just hope we represent. That's what Cougs hope for, truly.
Right.
Last year was amazing. I guess I'll predict the loss, but I'm hoping it's under 10.
I don't know if we're going to be able to have him back on, Drew.
If he brings us full points, I'll have him on whatever he predicts. I don't really care.
Yeah, let's go. Ryan's barbecue sauce.
Yeah. Okay. Last real quick question. When Washington State wins today, will I see you on the 50-yard line with us? Because I think Darren and I might be able to put you on our shoulders or something like that.
That's right. I might hurt myself jumping off the rail and stuff.
You got a long ways to go for this.
And I just predicted a loss, and how would they let you jump the field? So I'll cheer you guys on.
Okay.
Yeah,
Love it.
I hope you guys are jumping on the Cougar logo.
We'll be there.
Love it.
I'm Elaine's dad, by the way.
We got the paparazzi out here. Awesome. Well, thanks again for coming on. I really appreciate it. Yep. Go Cougs.
Go Cougs. You guys are awesome.
Go get them. All right. We're going to take another quick break here on the Fieldhouse Report. We'll be right back. Go Cougs.
Congratulations. You were like 7 for 7. No. You had the right arrow. Bumpus, I just heard him talking to Brock Heward.
Yeah.
He remembers getting a couple passes.
Yes.
So I knew
Yes.
that was.
That was a good guess. That was a good guess. What do you think of the barbecue sauce? Pretty good.
I haven't tried it yet.
You haven't tried it?
All right,
I think it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, go Cougs!
Go Cougs.
How'd the trailer work last night? Kids sleep all right?
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Good. Thank you guys. I'll come say hi again after. In just like 10 minutes
All right, we are back again here from RV Lot 1 here at Washington State. We're just a few hours away from this Apple Cup game before we know it, we're going to be inside Martin Stadium. We're going to hear Glenn Johnson say, "Here come the Cougs," and they're going to be kicking off the Apple Cup. What do you feel like the emotions are right now for the players that are getting ready to play in this game?
I think the way that Jimmy Rogers obviously conducts himself, right? I just spoke with the local coffee place and learning about what it is that this guy orders. It's basically an espresso with two extra shots, black, no sweeteners, no nothing. So this guy's truly serious all the way around. He's amped up. Nevertheless, I think he'll have this team prepared to a point where they're going to be calm, cool, and collective going into that stadium. But once they open up and see the fans for the very first time, there's going to be some good energy. All the things that Alex Brink was talking about and the excitement that they are going to have and feel for the very first time. That's what I anticipate for this game, where they're at right now, and everything in between.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that coffee shop. Actually, one of our brand new sponsors, Anila's Flowers and Gifts. Be sure when you come to Pullman to check them out. They're just an awesome food-owned business. Great ice cream, great coffee. We love their breakfast burritos. And they also have an amazing gift shop. I actually picked up Bud Withers' new book about the Apple Cup there this morning. So be sure to stop by when you're in town. But I feel the same way. I think you'll actually see the Cougars come out and not be so jittery as we sometimes are in the Apple Cup. You and I have seen a lot of games where the opening kickoff goes back for the Huskies, or we turn the ball over early, or something happens like that. I truly feel like this team's going to come in locked in, focused, and really, I think we're going to be able to tell a lot from that very first drive of the game.
Yeah, I think no matter which way you slice it, whether we win the toss and receive or kick, whatever the choice ends up being, I think you're going to tell an awful lot about what's going to happen early on. And I think the Cougs are going to be prepared today, and they're going to be ready to go, because I think last week, just as Nick stated when he was on here, last week was a fluke, guys. Traveling down to a heated area like that, it's a fluke. And the excitement is definitely there amongst all the fans. That's why people running around here like crazy. I mean, honestly, just yesterday, Friday morning, I woke up with the sounds of the stadium, blaring stadium noise at 8 a.m., and you could hear it. And we're all the way back at the edge of RV1, right up against the Taylor Sports Complex. You could hear it, and when you drove by, you could see those players really flying around, and it's just pure excitement for them. They're ready for this.
Okay, so I got one for us to debate a little bit here. We talked about our favorite memories already. When you look at that Apple Cup trophy, it has the score listed of every single Apple Cup there ever was. What do you think is the greatest Apple Cup win of all time for Washington State?
I think obviously there's always going to be eras, right? You always have to factor that in, no different than the likes of people talking about Jordan, LeBron, Kobe, all these players, right? So in the same facet, I don't want to sit there and take away from previous generations that played under this beautiful helmet and represented our university with class and whatnot. I will say this. Last year carried the most significance because of the transition that happened with the Huskies and the rest of our Pac-12 foe that left to other conferences. And particularly when we sat there and played them at a neutral site, winning 24-19. Shout out Kyle Thornton, which obviously was a big play there at the end of the game with that defensive stop. That was a significant moment for this university, for this football team, and that's what leads us forward. That being said, Drew, that's behind us. So is last week's game. Today's a new day. We got to show up and show out. We need every man, woman, and child going crazy for the whole game. All 60 minutes. We need you there, folks.
Absolutely. So I can see why you might think that that's the most important Apple Cup, and I actually agree with most of what you said. But I'm going to disagree on my year. I'm going to say the Apple Cup of 1997. Ryan Leaf and the Cougs go into Husky Stadium with the Apple Cup on the line. I think that day they needed a win and they needed a UCLA loss. They got both. Kevin McKenzie was on his knees, shaking his fist in the air like, I can't believe we did it. That punched Wazoo's ticket to the first Rose Bowl in 67 years. And you just talk about the type of game where we had lost, in our program's history, we had lost that game so many times. We had Paul Sorensen on a couple weeks ago. He talked about that 1981 team that was one Apple Cup win away. We've seen teams since then that are one Apple Cup win away from,
4 straight years where we're competing with the Huskies for the Pac-12 North.
Absolutely. So, in my opinion, that 1997 team that goes into Husky Stadium, they beat a very solid University of Washington team. It helped that Brock Hewitt threw about 9 interceptions to us that day. Poor Brock. I think he's actually kind of an honorary Coug for exactly those reasons. But you just talk about a game that broke the chains and barriers at Washington State University. I mean, there was people, when my great-grandparents went to WSU, when my grandparents went to WSU, they legitimately thought that we would never be back in Orangeburg. Like, for Washington State to be back there and do that just seemed unattainable. And so for that 1997 team, led by a great quarterback, led by amazing wide receivers, obviously you had the Fat Five up there blocking for Ryan Leaf, and a defense that made big plays. That game to me stands out as the greatest of all time. I hope we get to experience another one here soon.
I think it's certainly significant. Drew, wasn't that also the year you were born?
Yeah, it was. I was only like a month and a half, 2 months old. I've seen it a few times since then.
Okay.
Yeah, doesn't knock its importance.
Yes, the significance certainly is there. First time, 67 years, Ryan Leaf, tremendous advocate for Washington State, and obviously one of the great Cougs of all time. So,
absolutely. All right, we're going to wrap here in just a minute, but one last final thoughts, score prediction. How the Cougs going to get it done, and what's that score going to be?
I said 24-21 earlier this week. I'm going to change it.
Oh, all right.
21-17.
21-17, so.
Cougs.
Bigger defense.
Yeah, bigger defensive stop. Yep.
As the game gets closer to kickoff, as you're feeling the energy out here, I have this gut feeling that the start of the game might not go our way. But if we can hang in there, weather the storm out the gate, I say we make a turnover late, kick the game-winning field goal, and the score, I'm going to stick with my earlier score prediction. It's going to be 24-21.
Like it. Yeah, like it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, everybody, so much for tuning in to our live broadcast here from the Tailgate Lot. We really appreciate everybody that watches and listens. You guys are a big part of why we do this, and we've just had so much fun getting this podcast going, and we just appreciate you all being along for the ride. Darren, go Cougs.
Go Cougs.
We'll see you in Martin Stadium. See you there.